Good afternoon, everybody. First time I'm doing this year. Who is ready for some Orioles baseball? We got Chris Bassett's Orioles debut on tap. Should be interesting. But before the game starts, how's everybody doing? We ready for some baseball? Definitely know I'm ready for some warmer weather. Can't wait for baseball season. We're going to talk all things baseball. We don't have to we're going to be here for several hours. We don't have to just talk we don't just have to talk Orioles. We can talk Major League Baseball. You know, talk about your favorite team, talk about your expectations for the season, what you expect. And we can also cover the thing that is going to be looming over this season, whether there's going to be a next season. Because as we know, the CBA expires after this year, and, well, who knows if we're going to have a 2027 season. Because the owners want a salary cap. The players certainly do not. And let's face it, there's all kind of other issues facing the sport, as, not to mention, how teams be, or fans get to see their teams broadcast, things like that. But should be an interesting, fun day. Hope everybody's ready to just have some fun, talk some baseball. So, figured, coming into today, I figured we would talk some expectations for the year. And I figure I'll start with my official predictions. Let's start with the American League East. I am still sticking with the Toronto Blue Jays to win the division. I am going with the Baltimore Orioles in second place, followed by the Boston Red Sox. And I've said it now several times. The New York Yankees are a fourth place ball club in this division, and that's where they will be. With the Tampa Bay Rays picking up the rear in last place. Coming to the American League Central, I'm going to take the Kansas City Royals in first place, the Detroit Tigers in second, the Cleveland Guardians in third, the Chicago White Sox in fourth, and the Minnesota Twins dead last in the Central. For the American League West, I'm going to go with the Seattle Mariners in first, the Texas Rangers in second, the Houston Astros in third, the let's call them what they are, the Sacramento Athletics in fourth, and fifth will be the Los Angeles Angels. My wild card teams, I'm going to come back up here to the American League East because I truly believe that all three of the wild card teams in the American League are going to come out of the same division. I have the Orioles with the first wild card. I have the Red Sox with the second wild card. And I have the Yankees in fourth place, still making the playoffs as the third wild card. Let me know your thoughts. When it comes to the National League, I have the Atlanta Braves first, the Philadelphia Phillies second, the New York Mets third, the Miami Marlins fourth, and the Washington Nationals, who I predict will have the worst record in baseball, coming in last. The National League Central, I have the Chicago Cubs first. I have the Pittsburgh Pirates second. The Milwaukee Brewers third. The Cincinnati Reds fourth. And the St. Louis Cardinals fifth. And in the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers first, the San Diego Padres second, the San Francisco Giants third, the Arizona Diamondbacks fourth, and the Colorado Rockies fifth. The wild cards, I have the Philadelphia Phillies, the New York Mets, and the San Diego Padres as my wild cards. My World Series prediction. I am going to take in the World Series. Well, let me do I'm going to take in the ALCS the Orioles versus the Mariners and the Dodgers versus the Cubs. And in the World Series, it's going to be, it breaks my heart. I can't be a complete homer. The Seattle Mariners versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I know it's going to sound like chalk, but I have the Los Angeles Dodgers winning the World Series again. But I would love to be wrong. My award winners. The American League MVP. I am going to take Vladimir Guerrero Jr. My American League Cy Young is going to be Trevor Rogers. He is going to continue to push forward and build off of last year. And my National League MVP. National League MVP. I am going to throw a curveball here and say that for the first time in a long time, we're going to see a pitcher win both the Cy Young and MVP. And actually, I want to amend one thing. I said the Padres are going to be the third wildcard team. I think the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to be a wildcard team because Paul Skeens is going to win Cy Young and the MVP in the National League. So to recap, my wildcard teams are in the National League. Because I'm amending it, are the Phillies, the Mets, and the Pirates. Would love to know your thoughts and opinions on the predictions. Let's see. Yeah. We are getting closer and closer to game time. I do think there is a chance that Pete Alonso in his first year in Baltimore could break the Orioles' single season home run record. And as I mentioned in a previous YouTube short, I think the Orioles are sitting on a guy in Cade Povich who you put him in the bullpen, you throw him out there for an inning, maybe two in the late innings. And I see comparisons to a Zach Britton. Takedown Sports and I were talking, and he threw out Brian Mattis, but a guy that, if you go back, if you look at his stats, he doesn't do real well in those middle innings. As he gets deeper and deeper into games, that second time through the lineup, he does not, his numbers do not fare well. But if you throw him out there for an inning, possibly two, let him go all out, I think you could have a very effective, dominant lefty on your hands. I really do honestly believe that. And, for all the talk of the Orioles didn't go get an ace, folks, the Orioles have an ace. They have an ace named Trevor Rogers. Do not sell this man short. Have people not seen what he has been doing in spring training? Look at what he did the second half of last year. His numbers weren't that far off from Tariq Skubal. I know people, their eyes bulge out of their head when I dare compare the two, but those numbers were similar. You can't deny it. You can't deny that those numbers were similar. As far as today goes, we have Spencer Strider on the mound for the Braves, Kyle Bradish on the mound for the Orioles. Unless something has changed, everything that I have heard all week is that Chris Bassett will make his Orioles debut today. So that should be fun. They are in lovely Sarasota, Florida, which is where I would love to be. I actually scared a coworker that I'm supposed to be helping train all next week. I was like, I won't be here Monday. I'm off for the next week. My poor coworkers freaked out. I was completely kidding. We're going to have fun today. What are your expectations for the Orioles, for this team heading into 2026? Do you feel like we did enough in the offseason? Do you feel like there's a piece missing? Are you still hoping that the Orioles go trade for a lefty reliever instead? Do you not agree with my Cade Povich take? Soon as the game populates here and lets me get into a box score setting, I will be switching over to that. I did see, thanks to Mills, who I'm sure some of you are familiar with, I did see that MLB The Show, the new MLB The Show, MLB The Show 26, has the Orioles' new scoreboard for Camden Yards. Speaking of MLB The Show 26, keep in mind, in probably the next 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, because I haven't decided whether I'm going to wait for the opening day roster or download something out of the vault. or what I'm going to do, but Orioles franchise, which is a staple of this channel, will be coming. I'm going to do my very, very best to play every game of the season. I am not going to sit here and say that every game is going to be streamed. There may be some videos thrown in there, but there will be a playlist prominently displayed on the homepage of this channel. I encourage you and I ask to, get engaged with the series. Comments, feedback's always welcome. We are on the road to 1,500 subscribers. I would love to get there by opening day, so hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We are roughly at this time, I believe, 128 away from 1,500. $1,500 is the next goal for the channel, though. The Orioles come into today, it looks like 4-3 in Grapefruit League action. But we certainly don't put much stock in records for spring training. I don't even know how much stock to put into stats in spring training. Because anybody that has ever been down the spring training knows that the ball jumps off the bat in the spring. I'll be interested to see at what point Chris Bassett gets into the game. Can't believe we are up to the last day of February. So I see that we start the season off with Minnesota and Texas. They play the Rangers on my parents' anniversary, April 1st. That is not a joke. All I want to be able to do is box score this. Finally. Game tracker. We have no lineup. How do we have no lineups? Yeah, let me wait, because this is clearly not ready. There we go. We got lineups now. And bring it back to the looks like we got regulars: Gunnar Henderson, Tyler O'Neill, Alonso, Ward, Rushman, Mountcastle, Mayo, Tavares, and Jackson. So Orioles probably have pretty close to what their regular lineup could look like on opening day. Of course, we know Jackson Holiday is going to miss opening day, and we know that Jordan Westberg is going to miss time as well. And we are off. We have Kyle Bradish pitching. And he gets the strikeout of the first batter he faces. One out first. Apparently, that second ball was in play. Mauricio Dubon is at bat for the Dubon lined out to right. The Kyle Bradish mowing them down, having a good, solid first inning. Which brings us to an interesting debate that I've seen on Twitter, that I participated on in Twitter. Who should be the opening day starter? If you're Craig Albanese, you have the pen, so to speak. Are you going Trevor Rogers or are you going Kyle Bradish? I will say what I have always maintained. No disrespect to Kyle Bradish. None at all. I think the way that Trevor Rogers pitched the second half of last year, basically being arguably the 1B to Greek Scooble's 1A. He deserves the chance to start. Okay, did things change? Because I could have sworn I heard all week on the radio that Chris Bassett was supposed to start today, but as you see, or pitch today, as you see, it doesn't look like that's the case. It looks like you're going to get Kyle Bradish, Cano, Ryan Helsley, Garcia, Chase McDermott, Tyler Wells, and Jose Estrada. So maybe we are not getting Chris Bassett today. All right, Gunnar Henderson up to bat. Gunnar obviously participating in the WBC. That was called a ball? Well, folks, it's only spring training. The umpires have to work the kinks out too. But man, that was a bad call. Thank you, Gabe. I did not know that. I believe that is Gabe. Saying yes, Bradish is tomorrow. Okay, I must have missed the memo or that, or maybe he got pushed back a day. I could have sworn all week it was said Saturday, but I know the setup's not perfect. But I may do some watch along games this year. Maybe every once in a while I'll let young Gabe join me if he so chooses. What do you think of that, Gabe? Would you like to join me for some watch alongs, talk baseball, have the game on in the background? Gunnar Henderson lined out the center, I see. Here comes a guy that if anybody knows me knows that I am not a big fan. I'm not going to be that guy that pretends that I'm a big Pete Alonso fan just because he's an Oriole now. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm not a big Pete Alonso guy. How have you been, Gabe? And Pete Alonso flies out for the third out. Pretty easy innings for both Kyle Bradish and Spencer Strider here early in the game. I cannot complain, my friend. Just ready for baseball and ready for next Friday. This time next week, I'll probably be doing nothing but playing the wrestling video game, putting content off on off the top rope entertainment. And then, like I said, we'll have MLB The Show Orioles franchise coming not long after game release. I know you're excited for that, Gabe. Gabe is one of my biggest supporters. He knows I appreciate him, but he is an excellent athletic supporter in every sense of the word. Hey, Gabe, did you hear about the Pillsbury Doughboy? We got Mark Murphy, Farmer, and I'm not sure who. The Pillsbury Doughboy died yesterday of a yeast infection. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here all week. I didn't know we lost Chadwick Trump to the Braves. So when is your fantasy baseball draft, Gabe? That's good. I just heard on the radio broadcast that Zach Eflin is supposed to see some game action later, middle of this coming week. Your best friend, Brian, he told me you were going to travel to Cleveland this summer and go to some Guardians games with him. Love to see Kyle Bradish throwing strikes. Don't know if I love seeing him right in the middle of the zone, though. How nice would it have been? A guy that I wanted to see the Orioles get in the offseason, I would have loved to see us get Luis Rendifo as that Swiss Army knife. How nice would that have been with the infield injuries that we have already had? But I think Blaze Alexander is going to do a pretty good job for us. Okay, Bradish having some trouble here in the second inning. And the Braves are going to take the lead in this game. 1-0. And it is now 2-0. Atlanta. Kyle Bradish is starting to have a rough second inning. The tweet from the Orioles on Masson, Greg Alvarez gave an update on Basayo, and that Gunnar Henderson will be leaving the team shortly for the World Baseball Classic. I wouldn't worry too much about that 92 mile an hour, almost 93 for Strider in the first inning. It is spring training after all, folks. There we go. Kyle Bradish with the slider to get that second out. Four of the 5 outs recorded by Kyle Bradish have been by strikeout. Kyle Bradish. That pitch count's got to be getting up there. given that this is what only his probably second start of the spring. Okay, they don't have the pitch count listed. I will be right back. I'm going to get a drink while we are between innings. All right, folks, we are back. And if you've never tried Dr. Pepper cream soda, I highly recommend it. Love to see the opposite field pop for Adley. Orioles again down 2-0 in the bottom of the second. There's what I'm looking for. Hate when you can't find what you're looking for. Let's go Orioles. What are your predictions for the season? Who do you all have winning the World Series? Who do you all have winning the divisions, the award winners? Let me see something. Let's see if I can find a better. Let's try this. Hmm. 2 balls, 1 strike to Mayo. Switched over to ESPN. A buddy told me there's a few less ads. And a sac fly for Mayo. Orioles are on the board. It is 2-1 Braves. That's what the Orioles need to do more of in 2026. Situational hitting, productive hitting. Don't waste the runners in scoring position. This is really a put up or shut up year for Mayo, especially early in the year with Westberg hurt. And whether people like it or not, Leody Tavares is making this team. He's probably, at least in the beginning part of the year, going to be the starting center fielder. Okay. I think we're going to stick with ESPN. We go to the third. Okay, see Dubon, White, and is it? I'm not sure how to say that last name, so I'm not even going to try. Still weird to see. I know it's spring training. It's always going to be weird to me, even in spring training, to see ties on a baseball record. No sporting event should ever end in a tie. Nice quick out for Kyle Bradish. You all don't need to see me. More important that you see one second. Oh no. Did not mean to do that. I tell you what, Alonso's ability to pick balls that the infielders throw is going to do wonders for this infield defense. I'm a little surprised to see Kyle Bradish still in the game, considering how hard he had to work in the last inning. Five strikeouts through 3 innings for Bradish. Let's go. Bradish is looking pretty. That was a nice bounce back inning for Bradish. Impressive to see. Let's see. I wonder if Strider's going to come out for the third inning. The last day of February. Hard to believe that tomorrow will be March 1st. Strider is out. Martin Perez is in. This guy just seems to keep hanging around the league. One ball, one strike. What do we think Jeremiah Jackson's ceiling is, folks? Orioles really need Tyler O'Neill to have a good bounce back here. To the 2-2 pitch. And the Orioles go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the third. We are officially in the middle innings. Chadwick Trump playing for the Braves, but ESPN still has him with an Orioles cap on. That's good. And 2-1 or 2-1 Braves, top of the fourth. Looks like Ryan Helsley is going to pitch the fourth inning for the Orioles. So Kyle Bradish's day is done. Fairly effective. Had a little bit of a rough second inning. But was able to deceive quite a few Braves hitters. That's what you want to see. You want to see strikes. I got to get used to these being able to challenge balls and strikes. Don't mind it, just got to get used to it. Good effort by Kobe. Okay. Folks, it is spring training, and I do have a few things I have to do. We will do more of these during the regular season, and I will stay for the full game. Thank you for coming out. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all next time.